There's a platform with over 200 million monthly users that earns close to $900 million in annual revenue, and yet it still hasn't turned a profit. For almost a decade, Discord has let hundreds of millions of users access its voice chat, text channels, and video streaming completely free, while its competitors crammed their apps with ads, sold user data to the highest bidder, and stuck their best features behind a paywall. So the question is, how long can this last? Because here's the problem. Discord is one of the stickiest platforms on the internet by being the anti-social media company. No algorithmic feeds, no data harvesting, and no ads. The product was just good and free. But good and free don't keep the lights on when you've got 900 employees and server costs that scale with every new user. So Discord had to figure out how to actually make money. And the way they've done it, through a mix of stumbles, failed experiments, and a few genuinely clever ideas, is one of the more interesting business stories in recent years. And it's about to become even more interesting because the next chapter is about to be written in front of Wall Street. To understand why Discord's monetization strategy looks the way it does, we have to go back to how it was born. Because Discord was never supposed to exist. It started with Jason Citron, a lifelong gamer who taught himself to code at the age of 13 by writing a text-based RPG in QBasic. After college, he founded a mobile social gaming network called OpenFaint, essentially Xbox Live for iPhones. And in 2011, he sold it to a Japanese gaming company called Gree for $104 million. With that money, Citron started a new studio called Hammer and Chisel, and his plan was to build the first real MOBA game for tablets. They called it Fates Forever, launched it in 2014, and it completely flopped. But something weird happened while it was being developed. The team built in voice and text chat directly into the game so players could coordinate. And those who did use Fates Forever spent more time in the chat than actually playing the game. So while the game itself was a failure, the chat feature was apparently a success. Citron had a choice: either double down on a game that nobody was interested in, or pivot to the chat tool that everyone loved. Obviously, he changed course. First, he laid off the artists and killed the game, then rebuilt the company around a new standalone communication app. They called it Discord, and launched it in May 2015 with roughly 10 daily active users. Basically himself, his co-founder, and a few of their friends who agreed to stop using Skype. However, the breakthrough didn't come from some brilliant marketing campaign. Surprisingly, it came from Reddit. Someone posted about Discord in a Final Fantasy subreddit, and Citron and his team were hanging out in the link server, talking to anyone who showed up. And before they knew it, word spread to other gaming subreddits like Diablo, World of Warcraft, and eSport communities. Within months, Discord was replacing IRC and TeamSpeak links across Reddit. The main appeal was simple. Discord was free, it sounded better than Skype, it was lighter than TeamSpeak, it didn't require you to host your own server, and the interface didn't look like it was designed in 2003. For gamers who had been putting up with terrible voice chat for years, it felt like someone had finally built something that everyone had been asking for. By 2016, Discord had raised $20 million in funding, and by 2020, it had grown to 140 million monthly users and $130 million in revenue. Then COVID hit, and suddenly, everyone, not just gamers, needed a place to hang out online. Study groups, dance classes, book clubs, crypto communities, and Discord's user base exploded. The problem was that all of these users were using a free product, and the company needed to figure out how to turn them into revenue. Discord's first real shot at monetization was Nitro, which launched in 2017. The pitch was straightforward. The core Discord experience would stay free forever. Nitro was simply a subscription that gave users extras, such as larger file uploads, HD video streaming, custom emojis that they could use across servers, animated avatars, and server boosting. Basically, simple cosmetic and convenience features, but nothing that gave them extra functionality. This was a deliberate choice. Discord could have easily locked voice chat behind a paywall, limited the number of servers free users could join, or restricted message history the way Slack used to do. Any of those moves would have boosted their short-term revenue, but they would have killed the thing that made Discord valuable in the first place: the fact that anyone could join a server and immediately start chatting. The Nitro model worked on a simple bet. If the free experience was good enough that users never wanted to leave, then a percentage of those users would likely pay $3 or $10 a month for extras that made the experience even better. They wouldn't pay to escape limitations, they would pay because they already loved the product and wanted more of it. And for a while this worked remarkably well. Nitro drove Discord's revenue from $45 million in 2019 to over $200 million in direct Nitro sales by 2023. Server boosts, where users pay to unlock perks for their favourite communities, such as better audio quality, more emoji slots and higher upload limits, became another significant revenue stream on top of that. These were essentially microtransactions that people paid not for themselves, but for the communities they cared about, which was a genuinely smart move because it tied spending to social belonging rather than individual vanity. But Nitro had a ceiling. Only a small fraction of Discord's user base actually subscribed to it. Reportedly, less than 1%. And when you've got over 200 million monthly users and fewer than 2 million of them are paying, you've got an incredible engagement story with a concerning conversion rate. You see, the math only works if you keep growing the total user base, and even then, the revenue per user stays painfully low compared to ad-supported platforms. In 2018, Discord made a move to monetize the platform that was clearly a mistake, and a big one at that. They launched a game store. And to be fair, the idea wasn't crazy on paper. Discord already had millions of gamers on the platform, and the Epic Game Store had just been announced. It was offering developers an 88-12 revenue split to undercut Steam's 70-30. So Discord went even further, with a 90-10 split. This meant developers would keep 90 cents of every dollar. It was the most favourable deal in PC gaming distribution. They also bundled a library of games into Nitro, turning their subscription into a sort of mini Game Pass. Users paid $10 a month and gained access to a curated catalogue of titles. The problem was, nobody used it. No one was interested in buying games through Discord's store when Steam existed. And most subscribers never even opened a Nitro game library. By this point, users had been using Steam for years, where they had their game library, friends lists, and achievement history. They had no interest in using a new platform for games. By March 2019, Discord started scaling back the storefront, and by October 2019, they killed the Nitro games catalog entirely. The store remained available until 2022, when Discord finally pulled the plug. It was a humbling failure, but it taught Discord something very important. Their users weren't there to buy things. They were there to talk to their friends, and any monetization strategy that ignored that reality was going to hit a wall. Around the same time the game store was dying, Discord was going through a broader identity crisis that directly shaped how they make money today. In 2020, during the COVID boom, Discord changed its tagline from Chat for Gamers to Your Place to Talk. The rebrand was meant to signal that Discord wasn't just for gaming anymore, and statistically, it was true. By 2024, about 45% of new servers being created were for non-gaming communities. School clubs, fandoms, cryptocurrency projects, music groups, and developer meetups. The Discord leadership leaned into this. They talked about becoming a digital third place, built features like stages for audio events that were clearly inspired by Clubhouse, and positioned the company as a competitor to everything from Slack to WhatsApp. But the gaming community noticed, and they weren't happy. The platform that had been specifically built for them, that grew because of them, was now chasing a broader audience. The controversial username change from the discriminator system to unique handles felt like another concession to mainstream appeal over gamer culture. Then in 2024, Discord reversed its course. The new CEO at the time, Jason Citron, acknowledged that the company needed to narrow its focus, saying Discord should help people deepen their friendships around games and shared interests rather than trying to be a general-purpose chat app. The mobile app got redesigned, and the gaming integrations became its priority. This back and forth matters for the money story because it reveals the core tension Discord had been navigating. Do you optimize for the broadest possible audience to maximize revenue opportunities, or do you stay focused on the community that made you successful and hope that monetization follows? Discord's answer eventually was the latter, and that decision directly led to how they finally cracked advertising. For 9 years, Discord had no advertising, absolutely zero. Jason Citron repeatedly said that the platform wouldn't rely on ads. He told NPR in 2021 that Discord takes privacy very seriously, doesn't scan messages, and wouldn't use people's data against them. This wasn't just PR, it was a genuine competitive advantage. Discord's pitch to users was, "We are not Facebook. We are not going to monetize your attention. We are not going to feed you algorithmic content designed to keep you doom scrolling." And then, in April 2024, Discord launched ads. Well, sort of. What they actually launched was a system called Sponsored Quests. And the way they designed it tells you everything about how Discord thinks about the tightrope between revenue and user trust. A quest works like this. A game developer or publisher partners with Discord. Then an alert pops up in the bottom left of your screen. Not a banner ad, not a pop-up ad, and not an interstitial ad. It tells you that if you perform a specific action, like streaming a game to your friends, watching a video trailer, or playing a specific title, then you'll earn a reward. That reward might be in-game items, Discord avatar decorations, or orbs, Discord's virtual currency that can be spent on digital goods. The most critical detail here is that quests are opt-in. You choose to participate. You don't have to watch anything, you don't have to stream anything, and the ad doesn't interrupt your conversation or gameplay. It just sits there as an offer, and you either engage with it or you don't. And the results have been kind of remarkable. Discord's first quest was a partnership with HBO for the Dune Part 2 trailer, and it hit 85% video completion rate. Not 85% of people clicked on it, but 85% of people who started watching the trailer finished it, and 100% of those who completed the quest redeemed their avatar decoration reward. Then a Genshin Impact quest drove 80% increase in user gameplay hours during the week it was active. But the most telling data point is this. Users were posting on Reddit asking why they hadn't been served a quest yet. People were actively seeking out the ads. Discord's head of global sales, Adam Bua, said the response was so strong that they built in a dedicated quest home where users could browse and join live campaigns. Over 70 quests ran in the first year, with a 10% acceptance rate across the user base. And more than half of Discord's advertising partners came back for a second campaign. By October 2025, Discord had expanded to arena quests, where brand sponsors real gameplay across curated titles, and rolled out video quests on mobile. The revenue impact is visible in the numbers. Discord's estimated revenue jumped from around $660 million in mid-2024 to roughly $879 million by the year's end. That growth was partially driven by the new advertising engine supplementing Nitro subscriptions. And Discord's SVP of Product, Peter Sellis, framed the philosophy pretty bluntly at an event. He said, "These people can spot Gen AI from a million miles away, and they are not going to hesitate to let you have it if they think it's lame." The advertising had to feel native to gaming culture, and not like a corporate marketing team had invaded their group chat. Alongside quests, Discord had been quietly building another revenue layer that doesn't get talked about as much: server subscriptions. Introduced in 2024, server subscriptions let server owners charge for access to exclusive content or perks within their community, and Discord takes a cut from each transaction, creating a revenue stream that scales with the platform's creator ecosystem. This is Discord borrowing a page from Patreon and Twitch, but with a built-in advantage. The audience is already there, so a server owner with 10,000 members doesn't need to redirect people to an external platform to monetize. They can set up premium channels, exclusive roles, or gated content right where their community already lives. Combined with the shop, where users buy avatar decorations, profile effects, or other digital cosmetics, often created in partnerships with game developers, Discord has built a layered monetization stack. Nitro for power users, server boosts for community investment, quests for advertising, server subscriptions for creators, and the shop for impulse purchases. Each layer targets a different motivation and a different willingness to pay. The result is a platform approaching $1 billion in annual revenue without ever making its free users feel like second-class citizens. And that's the trick. The free experience on Discord today is fundamentally the same as it was 5 years ago. Voice chat still works, text still works. You can join unlimited servers, create your own, share screens and stream games. Nothing essential has been taken away or forced behind a paywall. All of this brings us to the elephant in the room, because everything Discord has built, the careful monetization, the gaming first refocus, and the new CEO, is leading somewhere very specific. In April 2025, Jason Citron stepped down as CEO. His replacement was Hamam Saknini, former vice chairman of Activision Blizzard, where he oversaw a multi-billion-dollar portfolio that included Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Candy Crush. The guy knows gaming, but more importantly, he knows how to talk to Wall Street. Before Activision, he spent 8 years at McKinsey. This is not a hire you make if your plan is to stay private. Then in January 2026, Reuters reported that Discord had confidentially filed for a US IPO with Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan Chase as lead underwriters. The company's last primary valuation was $15 billion in 2021, but secondary market prices have since dropped. Forge's price estimate as of late 2025 implied a valuation closer to $7.3 billion. That's a significant haircut from the COVID-era highs, but it reflects both the broader tech correction and the fact that Discord still isn't profitable. And that's where this story gets interesting, because going public changes the incentive structure entirely. When Discord was private, it could afford to be patient. It could experiment with a game store, kill it, learn from it, and move on. It could go 9 years without advertising because its investors believed in long-term growth. It could prioritize user experience over quarterly earnings. But public markets don't work that way. Public markets want growth, they want margins, they want to see revenue per user climbing every quarter. And the pressure to deliver those numbers has historically been the thing that turns beloved platforms into the hollowed out, ad-stuffed, engagement-optimized shells that people love to complain about. The tech industry has a word for this trajectory now, coined by writer Cory Doctorow: enshittification. It's the cycle where a platform starts by being good for users, then shifts value to business customers, then extracts from both to benefit shareholders. Facebook did it, Twitter did it, and Instagram did it. The question hovering over Discord's IPO is whether they can avoid the same path. The honest answer is nobody knows. Discord has done a better job than most platforms of monetizing without degrading the core experience. Quests are clever, Nitro is fair, the shop is unobtrusive, server subscriptions empower creators without extracting from users who don't want to pay, and the company's explicit refusal to sell user data gives it a trust advantage that most competitors burned through years ago. But Discord also hasn't been profitable yet, and the moment it's answering to public shareholders, the calculus changes. Every boardroom conversation will include someone asking why Nitro's conversion is under 2%. Why average revenue per user is a fraction of Meta's, and why the company isn't running display ads in DMs. The bet Discord is making, and it is a bet, is that you can build $1 billion business on the idea that users who love a product will voluntarily spend money on it. That you don't have to trick people into engagement, or exploit their data, or degrade their experience to extract value. That treating your users well is itself a monetization strategy. And so far it's worked. They've made close to $900 million in revenue without selling a single banner ad or running a single pre-roll video. Made an ad product where users actively complain when they don't get served an ad. And they made a subscription model where less than 1% of users pay, and the company still nearly doubles its revenue in 2 years. Whether that story survives contact with Wall Street is the next chapter, and it matters beyond Discord. Because if they pull it off, it proves something that a lot of people in tech have given up on believing: that you can build a massive platform and make money without making it worse. And if they don't pull it off, well, we've all seen that movie before, and we already know how it ends.